I need to see your face.
Sasa kunaenda aje hapa? Akuendangi.
Surely.
Yeah. Just hire a professional, eh?
Just hata kiatu ilitoka. Mama please kaa kwa sababu hivi kutuchomea surely.
Unajua? Unaenda mnanipea hii kazi. Msichome.
I was here. Uku karibu nafanya 180. Winnie. She was a good model. Lakini umeona niko na nini? Niko na nyota.
You've tried. You've tried.
Lakini nyota iko sio?
Akuja tu classes.
Is it something that you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I train.
Kuna nini? Kuna hope.
Yeah, kuna hope. Don't give up on your dreams. You have to do 2 more lessons than everyone else.
Yeah.
Kuna
Hakuna hope. Nimeenda home. The show is over. Before it began.
Ay. Where? Hi everybody. We tried to showcase our hidden talent. Professional amekuja akatuambia first of all, what you doing? Lakini model alipeana poses.
Yes.
So shida ni? Mpigi. All right. Live to fight another day.
Start with the model part.
Okay.
Then eventually unaweza graduate to taking the pictures.
To taking the pictures.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's a good way to start a Friday morning,
it is.
you know, and going beneath, tapping into the creative
If you're taking a picture of me and you're not uko lying on
the floor.
No, kuna angle ya long legs. That's my favorite. Make them long legs.
Longer. Make me look long. Not
Yes.
tall. But it's so good to see you, everybody who's tuning in this morning on Friday. Feel Good Friday today. That is what we're calling it. Or Creative Friday. Or going behind the lens Friday. Whatever you want to call it. It's a Friday. And we're starting it on a high. And we're here at Muma Peaks. And we're speaking to Muma Peaks.
People forget your name though. Tunakutanga tu huku Muma Peaks.
Unaikubali tu sasa inasaidia.
Sindio? What to do. Yeah.
Wacha nisiharibu jina yako lakini please tuambie watu wenye wanakuona.
It's Frank.
Fraje?
Yeah, Fraje. Jesus.
To Fraje. Bas meet up with for the entire show. Hi Fraje.
Yo.
Sup Fraje.
Abona
Frank.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, so Frank is my name. Yeah.
Right. Just one name. That's what we're
Frank
doing.
Mungai. Yes.
Such a Muma haiko.
Muma, imagine haiko. It's just the company name.
Ilitoka wapi the Muma part?
When I started, I was working with a lady called Maureen.
Okay.
So she's the one who gave me the idea of starting a company. So Mungai, Maureen, Muma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that solidifies? Behind every successful man.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I mean, really. It's an international brand now. Thanks to her.
Amen.
Thanks to her.
I will not deny that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for hosting us today.
Karibu sana.
You've been at it for so many years. Many years.
Yeah.
Ulipata wengine. And then there used to be like waves, eh? There's some photographers that would come up and then they wanna sumbua and then they disappear. They disappear. But then you've been able to keep at it all this long. Was this the dream, Mama? Muma, no, Frank, sorry. Frank uko behind uko 1944. Alikuwa anataka aje na maisha yake.
Tupeleke behind the story behind the story.
The story behind the story.
Yes.
The story behind the story is that I started taking pictures for fun, and then I decided to try and make a living out of it. And then I had a dream to be big, but I didn't know what big looks like. So I don't know, you walk, people say your brand is doing well, but where I am, I'm like, Badu. I'm not there yet. So I think I'm still chasing that dream even up to today.
Do you know what it looks like now? Do you have a picture? Having walked the milestones of probably being answered prayers now, I mean, you're on TV, you're cool.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
clearly. I mean, after 10 years now, officially, this will be my 10th year.
Really?
Yeah, doing this.
Happy anniversary. Kumbe tumekuja the perfect time.
Mekuja the right time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's weird when you stop being it's so comfortable being an amateur because you're like, I still have time.
I am still learning.
But when you're 10 years now, you're like, now you're supposed to be making like proper moves. And I don't know. I'm still trying to get this out.
This one is playing humble.
Tuliambiwa nini about communication?
He's like closed off.
Until we give him a lens.
I think so. Kando yake. It's like you never leave your tools of trade.
Exactly.
But really, so going back 10 years ago, what is that one thing, or maybe 2 or 3, that you look back and say, hey, that fascinates you the most or brings you, like, you're most proud about your journey? Ukiangalia, looking back 10 years ago.
I think just basically having a studio, a place where I can be able to do my work, because it's something that I had dreamed of having. My first 4 years, I didn't have a studio. I was just freelancing. So it's something I always wanted to have. And, my first studio was in my house. And then now the second one, a smaller space, now here. So I think this is something, because it's a target I had and I was able to achieve it.
Yes.
So,
dreams do come true,
Exactly, yeah.
But then keeping up with the trends. And we've seen you do that with a lot of the photography that you do, because ziko kuinje. But keeping up and knowing that, well, last year this was working. I mean, there were days, hizo pose za Winnie hapa kuna times zilikuwa zina work. Lakini leo unamchocha tu bure. Hizi za hivi.
Bora ameifanya na confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah, confidence is the key part.
Because it's not just the taking of the picture. There's also the part where the person needs to look good. Sometimes they're not confident. So learning all these things over time. Una learn on the job, or do you have to like take classes to know what the trends are, the new lenses, things that keep changing in your world?
Yeah, it's a combination of both, like you learn on the job and you try to stay updated with what is happening around you. So always on YouTube, checking out new things, or, seeing what other photographers are doing. And you try to keep up with, because things are changing so fast. Even when it comes to how marketing is done, how branding is done, all those things, like you just have to keep yourself updated.
Maybe that I could read it back again 10 years ago. Do you have like a specific memory of either your first picture and how it turned out to be, and like when you look back, what was one thing
ulifanyanga za kuoshesha?
Unfortunately, I didn't do that one. But I remember my first job.
What was it like?
Because when I decided to be a photographer, I was interning at a guy who used to do music videos. So when I got my first gig, I didn't have a camera because I had stopped interning at that place. So an uncle gave me, those the small compact cameras, yes, those ones. So that is the one I went to do the job with. And I remember, this, because maybe I thought maybe the client would expect me to have this like a proper camera like this one. But that client was very interesting because he was very confident in my skills. I even remember, because it was like an AG wedding, so when we went to Arboretum to take the pictures, and he was like, usimone ameshika kamera kadogo hivyo, huyu anajua kupiga picha. Yo, I used all the skills I could summon during that shoot. And that thing taught me that sometimes it's not the equipment you have, it's just the skill. Because even with a phone, I can take better pictures with a phone than an average person will do with a camera. So it's the skill, really, not the tool.
That you learn over time. And because again, speaking about phones, right now everybody has a smartphone. Even my grandma has a smartphone. People, okay? So people take photos. But then again, so there's what makes a good photo versus just photos because, well,
memory.
You know, So with your massive experience, what would you say makes a good photo? Like, what is it that you're looking at? What makes a good photo? Because I want to say, what does it communicate to you? And all those things. What makes a good photo?
I think it's, to me, it's the person taking it. Yeah, because two major things. You need to have an eye for photography. Like there are technical terms in taking pictures, like rule of thirds and all those things. So unaweza pata someone akopoa kwa hiyo rule of thirds, but ajui inamaanisha nini. But it's basically they already understand, like, this photo is supposed to be framed this way,
a certain way.
And also you as the person taking the picture, how you make your client feel. Because people say that phones are our biggest competitors, and it's true, but it's like cooking. Anyone can cook, but if you have an event, you'll still hire a chef.
That's true.
Yeah, so I can't imagine you having a wedding and you're telling your uncle to take the pictures.
No.
I mean, not unless you're very unserious. So,
unless uncle yako ni Muma.
Okay, yeah, true. Unless Muma is your uncle. So you need to make your client feel comfortable taking the pictures, make them feel confident in themselves, and I think that's basically it. Yeah.
For you to be, marking 10 years now, that means you're doing something different in terms of marketing, because you could be doing this and watu hawajui. Na kuna mtu mwingine pia ako 10 years tu pia yeye anasukuma hii gurudumu, but marketing has set you apart in terms of how you do it. You just don't do it maybe venye watu walikuwa wanafanya kitambo. So how has it been? What are some of the tools that you've used to make sure that you're not hiding under aka
or sticking to trends zile za 1900, the ones that you started with.
I think being comfortable exposing myself, because
that was a huge thing. You never used to do that.
I never used to do that. Never. I think when I was zero. I was not, but it's something that, like learning through online. I noticed a lot of business owners were saying that, allowing people to be familiar with the owner of the brand makes it more trusting. So being comfortable being there, and then unleashing my silly skills on the public.
I think it was shocking at first to be able to see that side of you, because people just knew the brand, because it was still a big brand. But then you coming in as Goofy, doing these little tiny skits with your clients, and the creating the rapport with them. So that worked for you.
Yeah, that worked for me 100%. It was scary at first because I think comedy is a very tricky subject, because sometimes you end up doubting yourself. You're like, is this too much? Should I really do this?
Will people relate with what is it that I'm presenting?
Joking is a Melina. Why?
You think you're funny.
So it's hard.
Who's this? Okay. All right.
And so there's the bit of you coming in and showing yourself, and people are able to relate with you, trust you as they see you on these videos. But then we cannot ignore the fact that you've used influencers a lot. Was that a strategy as well? I mean, tunaweza name is you, so was that a strategy as well, and how has that worked for you?
I would say it has worked well for me, because I really believe in the power of collaboration, because you can't. I would have had the option of just staying home and waiting for work, or choose to work with people as I sharpen my skills, because I can't come and try to sharpen my skills at your wedding or event. That is something you have to do on the side. And of course you need to collaborate with fellow creatives in order to improve your skills. And at first, because collaboration is something I've done from the very beginning, it's just that maybe I used to work with models who are not known, and then as the brand grew, I started working with influencers. So the difference being that they are more public, So it's something that I've done from the beginning, and it's something that I really encourage people to do, because you can't just learn on the job. You have to put in the work. Now, usichoke, because even now I still do those collaborations. It's not something that I'm planning to stop.
Listen.
Jina kubwa.
Don't need your
respect on my name.
On the name. And Jina kubwa. I have grown in whatnot. Okay, so earlier on you talked about, again, this is going back to what makes a good photo. So you talked about the person who's taking the photo.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the environment? Because with is like, karibu alale hapa chini.
Mimi niko willing kupatia Winnie the best shots hapa ever.
And then what you
Alafu
sasa
like,
background.
Yeah.
You know,
It was against the lights. This is not working.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the environment and even the model themselves?
Yeah.
Well, when church public gonna pose, which is like now not working, So can we first of all just talk about the environment before we talk about equipment? Because like you said, equipment is not the most important thing. It's the skill of the person holding the equipment. So can we talk about the environment, the location, that changias?
I honestly believe that you can basically shoot anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I started, I used to shoot in bushes, wapi. Like I would go to random places like this. This is just like here on this picture. It's just a random place on the roadside.
Yeah.
And you can get a good picture. Use the options that you have available to you. Don't say that I don't have a studio, or because at that time utapata maybe I'm charging 1,000 for a photo shoot that time, and then Arboretum they're charging 1,000 to shoot, and then also the camera to hire is 3,000. So you can't,
The math is not.
I know it. Sometimes it feels hard.
Yeah.
So imagine just even now. Actually, now it's better because you see in town on Sunday how many people are there shooting. Kitambo si tulikuwa tunakimbizana kanjo. Yeah, and used to be harassed.
Yeah.
You like. Me there was one day I was arrested,
in town.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What happened?
Yeah, because of shooting.
There were no. You didn't get a permit.
Yeah, I didn't get a permit.
So your permit walikuwa napatiana shilingi ngapi hizo siku?
I don't even know because when you don't have money, some names are just scary. The word permit looks like a
lot of things and a lot of process and a lot of
Yeah, so I go there and then I'm arrested. And then ikifika kwa karao, the things that I'm being accused of. At first of all, I was told, huyu anashoot huko security buildings, hii ni terrorist breach. And then kidogo ati sijui, alikuwa, even the ladies were not dressed. I'm like,
Indecency.
Surely. So, it was stressful.
No, ukishikwa models wako kila mtu anaskata, wewe ndio unabebwa na equipment yako.
Yeah, and my brother was doing the lighting on that shoot, so he was stuck outside making calls, trying to explain to my mom how I'm arrested for taking pictures.
Indecent. Imagine.
So, I'm so happy at least the county allowed guys to take pictures.
Yeah.
And don't use an excuse that is in a location.
Yeah.
Whatever you can find by the roadside in town, you just make use of what you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that opens up the conversations to the challenging bit of things. But what are some of the challenges for anyone who's watching and is probably interested to get into the industry? Alafu tutaenda kwa highlights.
Yeah, but can we answer that after the break? Because let's match the bills.
Yes.
We got to pay the bills.
No problem. No problem.
And then when we come back, then we want to understand, for someone who's watching you and thinking, wow, 10 years, and look at where you are at. Na mimi ndo naanza. What are some equipment? Got na smartphone yangu. What are some of those things that you'd advise them? And, even as you speak on the challenges and how to move forward and get your own space and just be international, doing these amazing things and collaborating with these big people. Listen, there's a whole lot of conversation that is coming up. We have 2 hours. No, we have 1.5 to go now. And we'll also be seeing Muma in action. We have a mozo. Have a mozo with us today as well. But even as we go on a break, we have a question for you. And the question is, if you could capture one single picture, okay, that will be seen by right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. How many minutes past the hour? 34 minutes past the hour. And today is all about behind the lens. We're going behind the lens and we're giving you all the nitty-gritties, all the details. We're giving you all the tea. You know, as far as what makes a good photography and professional. For those of you who are thinking about going for a photo shoot, you're like, but they could have don't you worry, because you have the perfect person to take us through the entire process, and his name is Bulisa Malichon. And he was trying to remember the other.
I'm not going to do that to you.
Let's
just go with
Franje. I was looking for that term. Frank Muma of Muma Photography, and he's been very gracious to host us in his studio. Yani ame block the entire, you know, they just to host us. Thank you. So, in front of us, in front of you,
you know,
are cameras. Yeah.
Literally vinking.
Yeah. And then behind us there's lights. Yeah. And then there's multiple
colored
walls.
Kuna vitu vinatoka kwa roof zinashuka chini hivi kuna maua couches, like it's very, very colorful in here.
It is.
And yes, indeed, it's bigger than kwenye umetoka, so
yeah,
congratulations.
Good job. 10 years. Yes. Yeah. So can we start with this? I know you are very big on, it's not about the equipment, but also the equipment is important.
It is important.
So number one, the skill. But before we even answer, you know, the equipment and the skill and whatnot, can we go through the question of the day one more time?
Yes.
And we said the question that we're asking you today is very simple, but very intriguing as well. And it is, if you could take a photograph that would instantly be seen by everyone in the world, okay, what would you capture and why? That's a very deep question.
It is.
That's a very, very deep question. The one that will be seen by the world, not at your mom and dad, by your bros.
No.
The world.
I'm interested to know what Frank's would be.
Yeah. What would you capture?
What would it be for you?
And
why?
What is that?
Yeah, and why?
A photo that will be seen instantly around the world.
Yeah.
I think it will be a picture of myself.
That's okay.
Great.
But you're the one who's taking it.
Yeah.
So you're the one who's taking it.
Yeah, I'll take a
selfie.
Yeah.
Surely.
You know why? Because
why? Yeah.
I've come to realize over the 10 years I've taken pictures, each year I always have like a favorite photo. It always changes. Like, I don't think you can ever capture the ultimate photo.
Yeah, that's true.
Because most good pictures are moments. So, ready to nijeke up, and then you guys know who I am and give me more work.
Good deal.
Yeah.
But what emotion would you want the people to connect with? Because it's not just Muma,
and they also said it's capturing a moment.
Exactly. So what moment? What moment would you want the world to see?
Happy. I think nothing beats that.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
If you get
like
a picture of true happiness,
it's happiness. Unabonga pose.
Genuine. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Genuine, pure. I like that. That's really good. That's really good. Okay, hi. Do you want to take us through behind your tools of trade?
My jembes.
Hatujaona kitu.
We are trying.
You have not seen nothing.
They're just trying.
It is okay. Humility is key. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So here I have a Nikon camera here. This is actually the first camera that I bought in 2017.
Is it?
This one. Yeah, this one. Oh. Imagine I use it even up to today.
Yeah?
Very, very, very reliable. And the thing that I will tell photographers, before you buy equipment, do your research. Okay. because, like for example, this camera, when I was buying it, its counterpart in Canon was like 100K more expensive.
Okay.
But you know, like if I had not like done my research, I would not have like known about this camera. So it's a very reliable camera. It's an Nikon D750. Okay. This other one is a Sony. I like it because it's easier for me to edit the raw files. Like it has a its raw files are very nice and very detailed. So when it comes to retouching pictures, it's very smooth for me to work on.
You don't have to.
Yeah. It's an upgrade of sorts.
Yeah. But I can still, if I shoot with this and this, you can't tell the difference.
Okay, just give it more time when you're probably retouching on that.
Yeah.
Then, okay. When did you remember? Why are you?
Okay, cool. Okay.
Remember on when we were celebrating International Women's Day and we were walking around and we found this. See now?
It was ginormous.
Yes.
Like the lens itself is weight yangu.
Yeah.
Now we can't combine.
Sorry, microphone.
Yes.
It was that big, guys.
Yeah.
It was really, really huge. And so maybe the importance of lenses and what such lenses do, because
the different types.
the different kinds of that as well. Konayo, na kaka hivi kidogo, depending on where I'm nipatie mnazitanga na namba.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so you'll find like this one is a 50mm lens. I like it for shooting portraits or even full body shots. This one is a 24 to 105 lens. It's good. It's a nice all-rounded lens. Okay. Like I can shoot portraits, I can shoot events because I'll get wide shots. So even though napatanga mostly enjoy the difference. And sometimes you can go to an event and maybe the lens you're talking about is like a 70 to 200. So clients usually feel like the bigger the lens, the better the picture.
That's what we were impressed.
It does not work like that. It does not work like that. Lens ziko na kazi yake.
Okay.
So like the 70 to 200, it's just easier to use in an event because it reduces your movement. Like if I'm shooting that guy, if I have that one, I don't have to walk. I can just take it from a bit further. Okay. And unaona sasa ina depend na shooting style ya mtu. There are people who prefer getting closer, there are people who prefer shooting from afar. And also capturing moments is a bit easier with that lens because the person won't necessarily see you coming into frame. So especially if you're shooting events or weddings, it's very convenient.
Yeah.
But in a studio, you don't need that.
Like photography, football, food.
Now that one is bigger because that one is like a 300 to 500mm lens. So you see.
Won't get about lens yasim.
Yes.
We did this. So get your lens yasim.
And the difference, because again, like you said, you can still take very good photos with, camera Simu, and you can still take fantastic photos with the professional camera. Yeah. So what is the difference between camera Simu versus, the cameras, and how can people work around it? And especially for those ones who are just starting out.
Okay, if you're starting out, don't start out with a phone. Okay. Yeah, even if I've said use what you have to do better. Because even me, when I was starting out, I used to make sure I just found a way to get a camera. Okay. Like I had side hustles your time, so I would work, get money, hire a camera, and then go shoot. So ningekuwa na option ya kusema, oh my gosh, sina camera, what do I do?
Push yourself.
No. Yeah, you have to put in the work. Okay. There are creative ways, like sometimes maybe I didn't have money, I would go back. My lecturer in JKUAT used to assist me with the school camera. So no, like I just found ways to go about it.
Okay. So then what will be your advice in terms of like the first camera? Because again, not everybody can afford to buy like 150K and like, they're just starting out. You know, a camera worth that much.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice for someone who's just starting out and thinking, okay, so then what is the most affordable equipment that I can get, and what are those must-haves for someone who's started? Because like we said, there's this, there's that, there's this other. So they've been intimidated when they walk in here. Yeah.
So I think like a Nikon D3200 would be a good start. I think with a budget of like 50K, I think you can get that camera. But me, I would advise, because this was my first camera and it cost me like 250K. And it took me, I started in 2015, I bought it in 2017. So, you know, I can only advise the path I took. I can't speak on a path I didn't take. I would advise hire cameras or borrow until you are able to save up enough money to buy a proper camera. I didn't think it was wise to spend 50K on to do this camera, and then you have to save again to upgrade. Like you would rather save your money, use circles, because me I used a circle to save up money, get a loan. But because now you can't also save to 50K. You know, learn your finances, get creative ways to get money, and then buy like a proper camera when you're ready.
So we hire, we borrow, whatever it takes, save money. I think that's really good advice. Because sometimes you want to just jump there, and because the number is too big, then you're discouraged. So what we're saying today is not to be discouraged. So you talked about something earlier, and I mean, it came out among the very first sentences that we were talking about. Ukisema, ukuje mwikali classes. Maybe you'll take 2 more classes than everybody else. But you take the time to teach as well. Tell us about that.
So initially I was doing it like, you know, like I had official classes where I was teaching, but then my time becomes a bit limited. So what I do is if someone is interested in learning photography, I teach on like on an internship kind of. Not really kuka class and start making you write notes. Nileona, it's a bit tedious for me. Sometimes, and
it's true, it's more, you'd rather learn.
I'll rather just go with
the practical part than just...
I teach you, and then, like Nikwambie, I teach you how to edit, stuff like that, because my entire team that I've hired, I trained them myself. So that's how I learned that I can actually teach. So, so even as you teach, please teach us all this behind us. What are this?
Yes.
Right? Because if you just bring them closer here so that because they're like different. See, we're like sitting for class.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn it.
So this one, it's basically.
She's breaking things into
Yes. Let me help you.
Kama kamera ya kwanza ilikuwa 250. Really?
You're safe, don't worry. So, so this is basically a strobe light. And I use it for lighting. It's like a flashlight, but just bigger. This one and that one are the same. The difference is the type of softbox. This one is in a direct light a bit to a smaller area. That one diffuses light to a wider area. This one uses, you connect it directly to a steamer. That one has its own battery. So I use it also when I go outdoors.
And then
this one I use it for shooting portraits because it helps bounce the light. It's like a reflector because it bounces the light. Like, you know how you can shoot portraits even dark. So I use this to kill off those shadows.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when you're talking about outdoors versus indoors, so what works best outdoors versus what works best indoors in terms of whatever equipment, whether it's a camera or lighting? Yeah.
It's easier to shoot indoors because the lighting is basically controlled. Yeah. Outdoors, a bit harder, but more fun because
I think so too. Yeah. You can get as creative as you want.
Yeah, you can get anything outdoors. And I usually prefer shooting in the morning or in the evening when the lights are too harsh.
Okay. So mtu anaanza amateur. Usiambie mtu kuja photo shoot unapeleka nje saa 6.
And I did that, guys.
I did that. You did? Yeah.
I did. No, me nimepanga photo shoot. Niko okay. We are meeting at 10, and then we start the shoot at 11. So hizo tuko huko kwa reli juu imetandika. I'm getting the best shadows of my life.
Yeah, because I mean they hakuna kuihepa.
Sina lights, sina nini. Yeah, that's how you learn.
Alafu unajua some of us tunapenda lashes zinatoka kutoka hapa ni Timbuktu. Only you see the lashes.
Yeah.
It looks like you're crying.
And kwanza hizo time nikianza, even the ladies I was shooting, they were not doing makeup. It was just like
natural.
Touching yeah, like Maze, imagine you can't say that you can't do it.
Yeah.
Just start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Your studio is very colorful. It has different walls, different lighting.
Yeah.
Things are different.
Yeah.
How do you determine what would work? Because we have a bright yellow with a textured wall.
Yeah.
We have Nenjango,
olive. Okay, I want to say olive, but not olive. It's not olive. So it's like a dark green. Let's just say dark green.
I also don't know. I was like, I want this shade of green.
Oh, you're an attacker. Okay.
Yes, that shade of green, and then there's that shade of white, and then some nice nini apple, and then flowers on the side.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then the other part where we have a model, getting ready, for the picture and her makeup artist, and then there's also this other side.
Yeah.
So like Michaeli says,
what determines?
Yeah.
How do you choose?
I really wish there was like some deep way. I was going through this process, but really
there was a revelation.
No.
I mean, it's more like clients. Like client comes and say, I want this versus this. I want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Plus, it's something that I change every year.
Oh. Okay.
Now maybe this year to me Isana. You came for a birthday shoot and you shot with this. Next day you want to come and try something else.
Yeah.
So I have to change them yearly. So I usually go for simple looks that are not that costly to make.
Okay.
And we'll just make pictures look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And props as well. Yeah. No. Yeah. Winnie alikuwa anataka nikanieta surely
creativity, because you want those unique moments,
See,
the question that we're asking today is that
what is that picture? We're about to find out what yours is.
Oh my gosh, I'm still thinking about it.
You're still thinking about it
because it's very deep. Because you talked about happiness, and because again the world needs more happiness. So I'm really thinking about things that will bring out like the softer sides of myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I see you.
Because most
like
of the time when people look at me,
soft, feminine.
Because most of the time everybody's like, we took serious face. And I'm like, guys, no, I'm very playful. I am very
playful.
Demure.
Actually.
I am very So I'd want to portray that other side that the world doesn't get to see often.
Yeah.
Because the one needs more of that, more playfulness, more, because I'm still a child up and down, I'm still children, babies. So that is what I would want to portray. Earlier on you asked about challenges.
Yes, I had asked about challenges earlier, and you've mentioned a few and you can pick them up from the conversations.
Yes.
Started with the kanjo, being arrested, your equipment being taken.
Yeah.
You talked about not having the equipment or right equipment, or sometimes even the knowledge of, But as you learn, these challenges have changed. You're the one who's now teaching 12 ikifika usikakue uko nje ukishuta, I know what are the good times for this. But what are some of the other challenges that probably you haven't mentioned for anyone who's probably in the industry of photography?
I think I've mentioned equipment,
Yes.
how hard it is to get equipment.
Yeah.
There is also, now in the industry itself, there are things that, unfortunately, you'll have utachom and you'll learn.
True. And that's good because that's the process of learning.
Utachom and you'll learn.
Yeah.
Because something like mem cards. Now, this one, in all honesty, as careful as you can be, even up to today, like there are things like recently there's something that happened to my mem card that I didn't know can happen because I had taken some pictures and then the pictures like kind of hid themselves in the mem card, so I couldn't see them. So luckily there are guys called East Africa Data Recovery who do that job.
Yeah.
So these are equipment. One unaweza enda hivi shoot upate maybe uliacha battery and you are 100%
happens all the time. Our camera people smiling. They're like, yeah, what happens?
And then unaangalia hivi unapata kumbe ulibeba battery ya remote iko battery ya camera. Yani there are just things that can happen.
Yeah.
And you know sometimes because I remember there was one day I went for a wedding and forgotten my name card. And then it was June, that was due. So I had gone the day before so that we sleep at the bride's place so that we start shooting.
Early, yes.
So now it's 6 a.m. I take my camera, very proud of myself that I'm here, about to create moments.
Oh my God.
And I have no mem card.
No. And you can't tell them to redo. They can't redo their wedding.
Luckily for me, the videographer had 2 mem cards. Luckily, because Nyandarua 6 a.m. Unatoa mem card.
And it's not Nyandarua town, it's town. Nyandarua
Unapanda pikipiki tatu ndio ufike kuenda. Oh wow.
So these things really do happen. There's a friend of mine who did a photo shoot. It's a baby bump. He get a baby bump.
I know.
And that is your quarter.
Yeah.
So you go take your pictures and all of that, and then Muma anakuja anakuambia picha zako zilikulo ni nini?
What would you even say? Did you see that? I mean, because on TikTok I've seen so many moments where mwingine amesahau kufungua lens na wale walikuwa wanafanya gender reveal na ndege the smoke imepita ikaonyesha blue hajafungua lens.
So hizo tu you'll just learn.
Like how do you recover from that?
Zingine you won't recover. I'll just be honest.
True.
Because on the client's end, you failed.
You did.
They don't care, like, as unfair as the situation has been for you, they don't care. So just be prepared for those heartaches.
I just check and double check and double check and triple check, and I will ask someone else to double check.
Let me tell you, you can do all those checks.
But still.
Oh,
no.
Like, there was a time, there was a shoot I did. I put the pictures in my computer. I mean, the safest place you can put pictures are on your... Because not in the hard drive, the computer. Computer is a bit.
What are the chances, though?
Like you see, anything can happen. Like, there's so many variables in this industry, so you just...
We learn and we grow
on the job.
Okay. I can see our models. You know, model is getting ready. She's almost done because we want to see you now
in action.
Taking the picture.
You know, taking the picture and also showing us. And I also want to see, you know, you taking a photo with your phone versus a camera. Because, like I said, give me a phone. Give me a phone. I got the skills. I will show you.
But Spear, not just any phone.
Not just any phone.
There's no need for me to lie to the audience.
Because the audience is not like them.
On national TV. That is national, regional.
You know, regional TV.
Okay, cool.
Muma said any phone cannot.
No, not any phone. Okay.
Kabambe.
Katululu, hi. What's up? You can't. Not that one. Okay, so should we go?
Yes. Let us take a very short break. When we come back, we'll be seeing Muma in action. But remember, the question of the day today is, if you were to take one picture that will be seen by the whole world, what would it be and why? It's NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. We'll be checking out your feedback after this break.
Down ilikuwa ni watu, because pictures always look good if they're coming from a lower angle.
Okay.
So you see, if you're almost the same height to the model,
yes,
you need to have your hands lower. No. Okay. That's why you see I was also bending
a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you press it. Yeah.
Okay. So straight.
Bend. Yeah.
And no masana.
You see? Let's see what you have done. Let's see what you have done. Let's see what Mikali has done. Umejaribu. Alikuwa na okay, half a foot, but you know,
half a foot is better than none.
Exactly.
Okay.
So umejaribu.
Wait, you've done well. You've done well.
Is this a picture I took?
Yes, but it's not your fault. The light ipo turn on. It's okay. That one is allowed.
Okay, so that one being allowed, and you know, you talked about the skill and all those things. So these are the mistakes that people should avoid. Okay, so do you want to just point them out? Come around your ile pale is Mama Hivi. I know you took in your element, but
you can sit down.
Yes. Oh yes. Please sit kidogo too, and then yes. So those mistakes when taking photos. Okay, do you understand here?
Okay, I understand.
So what are those mistakes that people should avoid, or what? And then also looking at her, she's very beautiful, gorgeous, right? Yes. And you want to capture, not accentuate, but capture those unique features about a model and all those things. So how do you get that? Okay, like the true essence of
them, when they're not acting for the camera, they're just now living, you know.
Yeah. I think when taking pictures, the most important thing is lighting. Understand how to do your lighting. You would rather take longer to set up your lighting than just shoot if you're not sure about what you're shooting. Okay. So take your time. Like you see, when you guys were on break, I took my time to set up the lighting. Johnny Kianza, iko sawa. And then also, like for her, it's easy to shoot her because she understands her angles, her best side. Like so I look better when I'm like this.
Yes.
So it's a bit easier. If it's someone who doesn't know, you can also help them. Because there are people who are not comfortable. Even me, myself, I'm not comfortable on camera.
Yeah, there's always that weird pose. Like,
So you need someone to tell you, like, okay, you look better if you stand like this than standing like this. So as the photographer, angalia tu subject wako anakaaje, umpange accordingly.
Okay. It varies from one person to another.
Yes,
different demeanors, if it's an office shoot, if it's a portrait shoot, if it's so for the different kinds of shoots, different kinds of personalities. Because there are people who are not bubbly. Wanataka tu kupigwa ya passport.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Apige picha mbili.
Yes.
So you piga mbili aende.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that Winnie brought out the angle with the phones, because we're seeing a lot of that happening now.
Yeah.
People are just taking pictures and then they capture moments and all of that.
Yeah.
So with that happening, and like you said earlier, it's a competition, photographers, to kama hizo. What then do you need to do to make sure that you keep being relevant and useful to us with our very good cameras, phones zetu za ni hali ya juu?
I think it's very important, if you're a photographer, for you to enjoy your job.
Okay.
It's you hire someone because you enjoy their presence.
Okay.
It's the same way you have your favorite person who does your hair. Kuna ule msee mwenye unanunuanga nyama kwake, si ati nyama yake ndio the best. It's maybe because how he talks to you.
Yes.
So because even for me, it had gotten to a point where I tried to do so much, I started falling out of love with the job. Because now you want to achieve these things now. And if you try to do too much, unaanza kuchoma, because maybe you start unachelewa na deliveries, and these are things I also learned. Like, ilifika point you go like, okay, maybe I don't have to shoot everything, or edit everything. I can have someone help me with the editing, or have someone help me with the shooting. So maintain the love for the job, so that hata ukienda job ukwe too happy.
And also you talked about lighting and how that is important. But aside from us having like different features and whatnot, even skin tones, right?
Unaoshwa Winnie editing na kuangalia sikuoni.
That was 50,000 shades later. So how then do you get to that level where you capture the essence without necessarily, because we see a lot of Photoshop. Happening around
tumbo. Lakini those ones are tumbo. Please keep editing our stomachs out.
Hizo tutoe.
We are okay with that.
That you look at this picture and you look at this person, you're like, kidogo disconnect, okay? Because the Winnie that I know and the Winnie that is in the picture is like two different people. So then how do you do that? How do you get to that level where you do not over-osha, but at the same time, you also
nimekubakisha Winnie.
It's something you learn over time, because it's called retouching, what they do.
Oh, retouching.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when you start learning it becomes exciting,
fascinating,
and then it's very easy for a photographer to get carried away. Sasa unataka tu uwashe kila mtu, because it's a new skill, you want to flex this ability you have. And so when you get through the phase of overdoing it, and afika sasa point now you learn how to now start toning it down, understanding client preferences, because there are people who prefer too much, and there are people who want the minimal recharge. So ina depend too, because the client is always right. So mwenye anataka osha sana, wewe osha.
You're open to just having that conversation between na conversation osha sana. Kuna vitu tunasemanga hiyo utaweka kwa post.
Exactly.
Najua sikuwa nimepaint yote black. Utaweka kwa post. And you mentioned something earlier about getting tired, burning out, and all of that. But then, Muma, you've introduced us to you. When we think about Muma photography, we think you. So when then you can't tell me that nikikuja nina kutafuta kwa studios kuone, do you have that kind of pressure? And are there clients that you know for sure? Ukiota nikimpatia nani hatafanya. Atangoje tu nikuje, and how do you deal with that?
Hey, that one, to be honest, I'm still learning how to deal with it now.
Okay.
But I think photographers should not be afraid of having certain discussions. Like for me, one of the things I did to ease on that pressure was raise my prices. Because now
you as if you want me, But ukitaka my associates, my colleagues.
Not really.
What do you mean?
It's more or less this. Okay, yes and no, because as Muma Picks is a company, we also raise our prices, because also even if I have two guys, they still in as Africa point where you're doing too much, and then you need to deliver in a certain period you can't achieve. So raising our prices is one day, and you have to justify raising it. If I've gone and upgraded my equipment, if I have improved my editing skills, because now I'm not editing how I edited when I last did your pictures. So you have to, like, okay, my skills are here. You account for it.
Okay.
And also for yourself, like if you're maybe booking me personally, you also have that option of maybe having your prices a bit higher.
Yeah.
You don't do too much. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you try to do too much, utachoma.
That's true.
Yeah.
And also, how do you find your niche? Because there's some people who would do boudoir.
Yeah.
Boudoir shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are others who prefer to do what, say, like their specialty is more of like weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you find your niche? Because like you said, it's easy to just do anything and everything, because well, the market is open and clients want me. So you do anything and everything. So, but how do you get to that level where you as Muma, anybody else who's watching us and who's a professional photographer would say, no, I'd rather do this versus this. How do you find that niche?
I think go with what makes sense for you at that point in time.
Right.
Because like when I was coming up, in the first phase of my, between 2015 maybe to 2017, I used to do a lot of model shoots, because I was in campus. So the people around me are fellow students. So that made sense for me at that point. When I left, I started doing more of baby showers, bridal showers, weddings, because I don't have a studio. And then, at that time it was mostly referrals, like you're getting referred to different clients. Then when you have a studio, now your niche starts changing again, because now it's more of studio shoots. Because then again, you attract what you do most.
Yes.
So if your page is full of studio, not that I can't do weddings, but most of the content on my page is studio shoots and events.
And you've perfected that.
Yeah. So I think it depends with where you are.
Okay. Can we speak to the model? Because like you said, it's not just the person taking the photo and the skills and all those things. It's also the model and the character and the...
Tap into that energy, really. Tap into it. Where's your model of the day?
Where's she? Oh, she's here. Come. You look amazing. Kuja stand close to Muma. So how long have you done this? Because at once you look fantastic. Oh my days. So start with your name and how long have you done this? Is modeling one of the things that you wanted to do over time?
My name is Kate Tuku. I have worked with Frank for close to 2 years now. I have modeled for the 2 years. I think he kickstarted my career as a model. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when you were starting out, what is it that you did then versus what are you doing now that is different in terms of bringing out your true essence as a model and also bring out the features that you want brought out?
I think over time, my confidence has really grown. So I'm more confident in myself, and then I'm more of myself. I'm not trying to perform a certain act to be a model. I'm not trying to be a model. I'm just being myself. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a model. I'm just a model.
I think it is. I think the confidence, and we talked about it earlier. The confidence is very important because you can be anything, and it's in those moments that we capture the best parts of you because you truly are in your element.
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 years in, what is it? What is the dream? Is it just, do you take pictures for fun, or are we using these pictures to build a portfolio for something else, something bigger? What is the dream?
Okay, now that you said it, I'm actually using the pictures to fix my portfolio.
Oh, nice.
And the goal is just to be the best version of myself. So every day, just something new, something better. If he has like an idea to make a project better, well and good. Yeah.
Okay. We've got ideas, Muma.
Muma, you better have ideas. But also, how then do you do those poses? But because we saw you, and you're very effortless. You're not trying. No. You know, I was trying to do the, you're just like graceful. It's just like, and like, how do you maybe have inspos, where you go search for those, like, how do you get
shed off negative energy and reflect positive energy. That's beautiful. Mokili Mobimba. Ndugu wa Kongole. Asema it depends on the gender. What does this even mean? Like with that power name that you give us, depends on the, what about the gender? Mares Max says, I would capture the rays of the sun rising in the morning. It's a symbol of hope. Brian Mina says nature and emotion from a person.
Yay.
Gideon says my mom. This one I will not read. Nicky Nick says, rays of the orange African sunset with birds meet air. It's just therapeutic. Faith Ndomo says, the wild, the pack, the hunt, the life of the wolf.
Sheesh, that's good.
Yeah, that's really nice. Teacher Kolwal Jalendo says, I would have and capture the image of my Bible as it opens a page for the scripture that says, for God so loved the world that he gave us his only begotten son, so whoever believes in him shall not perish but have an everlasting life. Because it's through the love of God that I live.
Hey. Okay. All right. Yeah.
There's so much more.
There's so much. There's one I saw on X that says they'll capture life after death or something like that. I'll read it, I promise.
Oh my goodness. There's one that says Insight K says it would just but have to be Anganya.
Ooh.
Because it's an art and culture that I believe should be Africa's best.
100%. That I agree. Yes, that I agree. Our Nganya culture, that I agree. Umepata answer?
Actually, I was surprised when you see someone from Twitter talked about life after death, because that was what I would love to capture. Anything from afterlife, anything. It would be anything. I think it would give us a hint of how
what to expect
after death would be.
Interesting. I would also love to see that. Okay, we have like 2 minutes to go on, but do you want to teach us the poses and what to do right, what to do wrong? Because again, it's not just tusishinde tukiblame hapa Muma wewe kunipiga picha vizuri na kumbe sisi hatujui pose and all those things. Do you want to teach us? I'm so sorry to put you on the spot, but this is what you do. This is your space, right? Yeah, so where do you want to go? Do you want to go back there? Okay, sawa. And then, so hatuna mic, but it is okay. Just
wait, I thought we were going to do it with her.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, good. There you go. Yeah, pose.
We have many different features.
Winnie, it's fine. It's fine. Yes.
This is my most comfortable pose. All right. So I put my leg like the leg part, and then you.
Yes, there you go, Winnie. Lean into it. Yes, you're holding the chin and a smile and a fierce. Winnie, give us fierce. We tried fierce the other day in studio. Oh, Winnie, not with both hands. There you go. That's really nice. Win turn. Yes. Hand is on the hip. Okay, there you go. And then she's blowing a kiss. With that, yes, there you go. There you go. Oh, yeah, man. We need to mfunza moja. Leg in front.
And then one hand on the side here.
Oh, that's a... Yeah, that is so you, Winnie.
Right?
That is. Okay. Yes.
I struggle with this. I don't know.
Okay. So, I feel like I should just walk in with my microphones.
Yes.
There you go. All right. Yes, the fears part, because I struggle a lot. They tell you be serious. I'm like,
Okay, so what I do, I just lower my gaze. I just stare into his eyes or something like that, and just stare into his eyes, and it will
Lower the
automatically
gaze.
come. Yeah, just lower the gaze.
This is the fiercest we are going to get.
let's take a break.
Okay, great. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right back. The question is, if you were to take one picture, and it's instantly shown all over the world, what would it be and why? All right? Okay, I'll go on a break. See you after the break.
Hiya. Hey.
Welcome back to Your World, our Friday edition. We are at Muma Picks Photography. Angalia napatiwa side-eye. Side-eye. And we're talking everything.
Gina.
Oh, Franje. Franje, sorry.
Almost. We almost got through.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you so much. We are here and we're talking all things behind the lens. Tumeenda hadi mbele ya lens, done poses. We learned to take some poses.
Yes.
And how to angle self.
Yes.
And do all of that.
Yeah.
And I did take some shots.
Yeah. You did good.
Some were dark.
Yeah.
Some not experienced light. But karibuni sana. The question we are asking you today is very interesting, Winnie. What is it?
Let me tell you, I am actually just laughing through the comments because where? The things that people are saying. So the question is very simple, and that is, if you could take a photograph that would instantly, so how much time you could edit, okay, by everyone in the world, what would you capture and why? Once again, if you could take a photograph that would instantly be seen by everyone in the world, what would you capture and why? Hey, there's one here. You know the one I was laughing at, yeah? Yes. So someone said, this is J-Ban, is it Kupra? On Facebook says, I would have captured the activities done by angels.
Oh.
Singing.
Yeah, because, you know, we imagine I have a guardian angel looking at me making my mistakes going, look at this one. It would be nice to capture that.
Yes. And then George Wakesa Hisa says, the image of my daughter's smile. Remember how you talked about a child's laugh and how that's pure it is?
Yeah.
And says, it tells a story of how to live in this world happy. You also talked about happiness, Muma.
Yeah.
And then someone here says, Gideon says, my mom. Oh, that's beautiful. Another one says, there's one I was laughing about. 1 sec, let me just look for it. This is Kiragu Maniki who says, just thinking how I would capture peace.
And that is my friend.
Yeah.
Kiragu.
Really? Hi, Kiragu. Yeah.
This would be beautiful to see because we rarely capture those moments.
No, we don't, yeah.
With peace, like how do you even capture it?
Yeah, that's very deep, very deep.
Yeah.
Kay Omondi Jr. says, tree planting ceremony. I like planting trees, and it's really good for environment, and that's true.
Okay,
that's true. And then last one before we continue with the conversation, Evans Muzera says, I would capture an image of an African child smiling with pride, holding a book, standing in front of a simple school built by the community. In the background, you'd see elders, parents, and young people working together, planting, teaching, building. Why? Because too often the image of Africa seen by the world is one of suffering and need. I would want to show the dignity, resilience, and potential of our people. I really like that one.
That's really nice.
Really
but then
like
there's someone who's saying something closer to that, but on the contrary of that.
Oui.
So how Evans Muzera says to change the image that Africa is seen as now. Mato says hungry kids in sub-Saharan Africa and the rest of the world.
Okay.
Why? Exactly the same format as Evans.
Yeah.
To show those billionaires to stop flourishing their wealth in public and do something to feed these kids.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
fair.
We all want to do something good in the world, so good job.
Yeah.
Really.
And listen, we're coming to the tail end of today's show, and we've learned so much. We've practiced, we've learned the mistakes that happen, but at the same time, how you recover, which Muma says, sometimes, listen, you don't recover. It is what it is. It's a business, but you learn every single day. Yeah. So Muma, looking back, again, going back 10 years ago and now, and just looking at the evolution of photography, whether it's studio, whether it's wildlife, whether it's anywhere, a lot has changed over time. So what is it that you've said has changed, whether it's equipment, skill, the editing, what would you say in terms of how photography has evolved over time?
I think social media has heavily influenced how photography has changed, because I think the rate of photography is still the same, because if I look at my mom has like 3 big albums of us when we were younger, so I don't think the rate of taking pictures has changed. It's just how photography has been portrayed nowadays. And unfortunately, the trends, they are very unpredictable. Because when Instagram, like when I was starting in 2015, Instagram was purely for pictures.
Yes.
If you remember, it was about sharing moments. So it started as people sharing moments of them having fun, them just being normal, and then came the time of the socialites. And now it was all about aesthetics and looking pretty. And that's when there was that big photography boom. Now everyone wants to do photo shoots. They want to look nice. And now we have that, plus now reels, content. And most people spend now most of their time on reels. So if you're a photographer, people now want to see how you take the pictures. They want to see the process. They want to see, like you as a person, or the kind of person you are when you are not working. So social media has just changed
things, because has then the business now evolved then in terms of not just photography for Muma Pics, like as a content creator, and probably I like your pictures, but I'd like to see what you can do with content and reels and all of that. So Muma does that as well.
We do that as well, but weirdly I just do content to market my work. Like, as much as I enjoy doing the content, I'm doing it so that my core business is photography. So it's just a way of bringing, people, eyeballs to my account.
Your account.
Yes.
So even when we do like weddings, it will be just pictures for Muma Pics. And they will find someone else on video.
Although we do partner with people when it comes to video work, we have, because sometimes it's easier, like you don't want to go around maybe booking 2 different companies to do a gig. So, we partner heavily with, she's called Create with Iron. She does amazing videos. Most of the videos actually on our page, she's the one who has done them. So, we just find ways to work together with each other in the industry.
Power of collaboration that you talked about earlier on. And even speaking of on social media, I just remember, like you said earlier on, back back then where you would take negatives. Those will take months. Mnafanyishwa line nyinyi wote mnapigwa picha, and then in 2 months later, and then inakuja zimechomeka almost all of them. You don't have the pictures that you'd want to have instantly. But now we have social media. Where yes, and like you said, with technology you can take pictures, and I can have my pictures ready in 3 days, 3 business days, or something like that. But also using social media to market yourself, and based on the content that you put out there, there's some people who see what is posted, like it, and want to explore more and want to come to you. But there are the people who are like, me, like I don't like it, so then they drive traffic anywhere else. So then how do you ensure that you use social media to your advantage and also gain more clients from what you're putting out on social media? Because there's so many photographers out there who are doing fantastic things. So how do you retain your client but also onboard much more through the power of social media?
I think first it's being comfortable knowing you can't be for everyone. I think we are, how
That's
many
really
Kenyans?
Good.
Like
55 million now.
55. I can't shoot 55 million people.
And impress all of them.
Yeah, you can't. And it's not, this thing of viewing this industry as a competition, imagine it's not. We can be 1 million photographers in Kenya and all have work.
Yes.
So just do what makes you happy, try to do your best. Ukichoma kubali ulichoma. And do the best you can to apologize, and just wake up and show up every day. That's the best we can do. But feeling like because someone else maybe you feel is doing better or
clients working,
but anyway, like every other business there will be
exactly
like
kuna mambuka yo, but just try to do your best, work within your lane and try to improve, because I do that even up to now. I try to improve myself every day. Look where I'm going wrong, trying to make it better.
Okay, and for you and for the clients as well.
Exactly.
There's something that happened, I think last year but one. There's big companies in this country used to work with influencers like you do for their billboards and all of that. And then kidogo hivi unapita unaona ala wametumia AI, hatuyuko kazi wase, hatuyuko wameenda wametengeneza mtu anakaa tu Mkenya jameni, but it's not us. And I'm wondering how that has probably affected your industry as well, with the influx of AI being used in all these other places, and what it looks like in your industry.
Well, to be honest, I don't think it has affected me really that much. Actually, it has helped me because implementing AI, it makes editing easier. So I think it's basically perspective. Because at the end of the day, if a brand wants to work with Wikali, they will still have to find you.
That's true. That is true.
And at the end of the day, a Kenyan is going to trust seeing you more than it's going to trust some. No matter how far AI goes.
No fear here. It's good. It's here to stay. So let's do the most that we can with that. Okay, good stuff.
And what is it that you'd want the young photographers to take away from today's conversation? Because we've talked about a lot from your journey starting out, 10 years ago, to the mistakes that you made, the lessons that you've learned through it, what it takes to have a good equipment. And like you said, history, start with what you have. To watch it. You're seriously looking into professional photography. In a good camera. But aside from that, because now you have a studio, and maybe someone who's watching you and be like, nataka studio, all these different sets, sets and all those things, but they've not gone through the same journey that you have gone through. What is it that you want them to take away from today's conversation and from your story and from your journey as well?
I think the number one thing I would like them to take is resilience. Because for me, it was not I'll try photography, kikata. It was nihi. There is, even up to now, there is no space for failure.
Okay.
I do not see a world where now I'm done in a choke, I give up.
Yeah.
Because even if I still have a studio, I still have to maintain. Because if I let the business go, takosa clients, I won't be able to handle the business, I close it. So having the resilience in your mind to be like, I'm doing this hadi mwisho.
Yeah.
That is everything. Because I honestly don't think I'm the best photographer in this country.
Yeah.
Ni mimi tu naweza piga picha mzuri. It's the resilience that helps.
Yeah.
Being able to wake up every day believing in yourself and doing the best that you can.
Yeah.
Nothing beats
Bring
that.
yourself to work every day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a beautiful journey when you get to a point when you look back and you're like, that was me. But random question, Frank.
Yeah.
What was that probably life-changing moment for you? As in, it could have been a gig that you had, ikakupatia mapesa, uko like, kumbe industry naweza lipa rent ya 1 year. A client that you'd never thought that you would be able to probably access.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was life-changing. It was the one job that made you feel, I am at the right place. It's been rubber stamped that I'm on the right path. What is that moment for you?
That moment, I think...
It could be 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Or 5.
Or 5.
Or 10.
I think there's a day I did the first time I did a corporate gig, and they paid me good money. I was surprised.
Okay.
Yes, because and then luckily I did that thing of saying, what's your budget? And their budget was way more than what I would have said. So I think I almost choked when they said it. So I was like, hey. So yeah, that is when I realized, like, from making 1,000 from a shoot to that, that's when I realized I'm in the right place. Yeah.
But you see, most of the time people don't know that. Work, people will love you because of what you do. But at the same time, a lot of people underquote, ndio nipate client.
Exactly.
And you end up spending more than what the client had actually So then how do you do that? Like, how do you get to that level where, because like you said earlier on, hata me sometimes naongeza prices zangu, but my clients will remain because wanajua kazi yako. So for that person who's watching you and thinking, I don't know how do I measure and my worth and all those things. How did you get to that level? And then also have like rapid fire questions for you.
Okay. I think you have to people don't factor in the cost of them doing certain things. Because if you're going to a shoot, you have to it, factor in storage, because you need space on Google Drive. Factor in the cost you used. Do all that math, and you'll be able to come up with a good estimate of what and then also trying to value, like, someone who has shot for 2 years is not the same as someone who shot for 8 years. So also factor in your experience into how you calculate your cost, and then you get a good figure.
Ooh, I like that. And also maintaining the business side, because this is business, right? And like you said, hakuna teacher unakuja unatry kikata unaenda kule unaenda no. So maintaining the passion side, but also maintaining the business side of things. What would you advise a person who's just starting out?
Either take business classes, or if you can't handle it, get a partner who is good in business. So for me, I opted to get a partner who is good in business, because me, I'm not good in business.
Passion in a someone else to handle the business side. And that's very smart. That's very smart. Because sometimes people tend to mix the two and end up closing in no time just because they were not able to maintain the business side of it.
Exactly.
Okay, Wix, do you have a question as we close? As I prepare my you're ready for the rapid? Okay. All right. Number one. DSLR or mirrorless? And don't overthink. It's quick fire.
Mirrorless.
Mirrorless. Okay. Natural light or studio light?
Studio light.
Studio light. Favorite lens?
70 to 200.
Ooh, color or black and white?
Color.
Okay. Candid or posed?
Candid.
Age. Okay. Most photogenic city?
Dubai.
I was hoping you would say Nairobi could use an expressway. Dubai. It's okay. Dubai is good. I like Dubai. All right. Wait, sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Ooh. Yes. Okay. Flash or no flash?
Flash.
Okay. Wait, what is the other one? Lightroom.
Photoshop.
Hey, what nini Photoshop?
Lightroom sio kwenye huko. Sema nitoe. Nakumbuka ukinifunza kuedit ukiniambia ongeza shadow ikwange tu.
Lightroom is like simpler version of Photoshop. So everything on Lightroom is on Photoshop.
Nataka too complicated. Okay. RAW or JPEG?
RAW.
Hey, higher. Dream photo shoot location?
Dream photo shoot? Maldives.
Ooh.
I want to shoot there.
Okay. Okay. Favorite subject to shoot?
Ladies.
Because why?
Because
only wanaume nimeona kwa hii wall of fame. They are accompanied by a lady. They are not by themselves. By the way.
My business does not target men at all. Because this is the very simple reason.
Okay. Yes.
Even me, when I do a birthday shoot, I take 3 pictures. 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if that was my business, hatungekuwa na studio. At least ladies atakuja na 10 outfits ngapi, a change, achukue picha. Exactly. Wanaume.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, last question from me. Worst thing a client can do on set?
Worst thing a client can do on set? Come when they are not in the mood to shoot.
Have you ever had to ask someone to come back another day or cancel a shoot because nothing was happening? It wasn't moving, there were no energy, something?
No, not really.
We plow through.
Kinda. Luckily, I haven't been in that scenario when it's that bad, but I can just imagine how bad that would be.
For women's sake, do you have music?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. If there's music, if there's music, we're safe. Okay, all right. Should I ask one more?
One more question. I think about
how many more minutes do we have?
I think about a minute.
Oh, wait, a minute. Okay. Most overused photo trend.
Most overused photo trend.
Wait, watch out. You're here to millennials. It cannot be a photo without. Most overused though?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, because now the Gen Zs is now a whole other thing.
Okay.
That maybe I don't know.
Is there photography that you don't do, or you do it all?
I think I can shoot anything. I have done it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All?
Okay.
I've done it all.
Okay.
Just checking.
I like that. Do you have a quick fire for us? Okay, just one though.
For you, I was not ready.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Really, what are you doing to us?
Asante sana.
Oh my days, yeah, this was good.
Yeah.
We've learned so
you.
much, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching us, and probably they want to venture into this business side, I'm pretty sure they've learned so much, from you as well. So thank you for hosting us. Thank you for
so
being
much.
kind and showing us your tricks, here and there, as far as what photography really, and especially professional studio photography is all about.
Yeah.
We've learned so much. Unakuja class?
Mimi ni nakuja class ya ni kushika camera.
You could take a camera.
I think my photography teacher had me.
Yeah.
So
Christian Soni says, my family, motherhood has been a great journey, living the dreams you once had. It's been God's grace. I really like that. Keep sending them our way, okay? Keep sending them our way. And Sam Guru says, my family, I value them so much. I've read the tree planting one, yeah?
Yes, you
okay.
have.
Let me look for the one that said they want to capture afterlife. Yes. D at no strings. This is on X. Okay. They say, life after death. People need to know if Satan's fire is real or an illusion.
I would like to know that. Please. There are stories, but a picture would be nice.
Right?
Yeah.
To see.
Yeah.
And see how red the fire can be.
Yeah, is it even there? Questions. Anyway, so.
Okay, it's been lovely. Right here on your world on this wonderful Friday. We called it what? Behind the lens Friday, Fun Friday, all the good things, all the good things. Yeah, but Muma, as we bring this to a close, someone who's watching us and thinking, "Sasa ntampata wapi, ko wapi, rate zenyu niaje?" Yeah.
So we are basically located in Westlands, Viking House. You can find us on Instagram mainly Instagram. So yeah, you can shoot us a DM or call the contacts on our bio. We'll give you the rates depending on what you need. So we have different packages. So yeah, reach out to us to fanya kazi.
I like that.
Yeah.
We are now one shoe fits all. It's individualized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for today. We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And so enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will see you next week on Monday on Mindful Monday. But until then, stay safe. God bless. My name is Winnie Lubembe.
And I am Wikali Mary. Enjoy your weekend.
Goodbye.